Minister.
I thank the honourable gentleman for his question. The Chancellor has been a tad busy in the last week or so on a very important financial piece, economic piece for the country. The Bakerloo line extension is a Transport for London project, and the issuing of safeguarding directions does not actually represent the government commitment to fund the project, but it protects the route from conflicting development that could have potentially raised the cost of the project significantly in the future. His question is best aimed at the Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Department has approved £20 million of funding for the development of an outline business case for the Midlands Rail Hub. We are working closely with Network Rail to apply the principles of Project Speed to the development of this project to ensure that it can progress as quickly as possible.
Let's go to Cole McCartney. Cole.
Thank you, Speaker, and good to see you again this morning. I also thank the Minister of State for that reply. The rail corridor to Lincoln, which the Minister knows well, has a proposed upgrade of signalling at Newark, as well as plans for faster and more frequent trains to my constituency in Lincoln. Some of these schemes are almost shovel-ready and can begin this year. So can I ask my honourable friend to consider these schemes and help Lincoln receive the train services my constituents deserve?
Mr. Speaker, I think we can both agree that my honourable friend, the member for Lincoln, is a wonder to behold, as he demonstrates to us all that a sensible, coherent campaigning strategy bringing together people and businesses and demonstrates the potential economic growth that could result from schemes and infrastructure leads to this government delivering to that infrastructure. You just have to look at the roads around his great city and the direct trains to London that he's campaigned for. Midlands Connect are developing a proposal such as he outlines, and if history is anything to go by, his resourcefulness will help speed it through the process.
Councillor Smith.
78, Mr. Speaker.
Minister. Heaton-Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Ministry for Housing, Communities and Local Government have recently carried out a review on the progress of the devolution deal. I understand that the outcome of this will be announced in due course.
Let's go to Daniel Zeitner. Daniel.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the budget last week, Cambridgeshire and Peterborough were the only mayoral authority not to get money from the intra-city settlement. We're still awaiting the blocked £45 million in housing funding, and we got just 75% of the indicative amount for active travel when everyone else got at least 95%. So what's the government got against Cambridgeshire? Isn't the mayor a chum?
The mayor is a chum, and I'd like to think the honourable member is a chum too. The cities eligible for the Intra-Cities Fund announced in the Spending Review 2020 have been chosen on the basis of a range of factors with the appropriate governance, including population and economic growth rates and congestion. The government is already investing substantially in Cambridgeshire and Peterborough through the £1.5 billion A14 Cambridge to Huntington upgrade that was completed last year, a devolved allocation of £95 million from the Transforming Cities Fund for 2022-2023, and we're also developing plans for a new Cambridge South station and obviously East-West Rail.
Substantive question to the Secretary of State.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Government is investing £2 billion in active travel over the rest of this Parliament, much of which will go to local authorities. This is the biggest ever boost for cycling and walking.
Let's go to Ben Bradshaw. Ben.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And many local authorities, including Conservative-run Devon and Labour-run Exeter, are working very well together to deliver on the government's vision. But what's the Minister going to do about those small number of obstructionist local councils like Kensington and Chelsea in London, which incredibly doesn't have a single segregated bike lane in the whole of the borough, and furthermore recently tore out a new temporary one, which was very popular with local families, forcing those families and children back out onto a busy main road on their way to school?
I thank the honourable gentleman for his question and welcome him, actually, because I know he's a new member of the Transport Select Committee, and I look forward to working with him as we move forward on this agenda, especially. And we've met, actually, on this very, very subject previously. He'll know that actually local authorities across the country are doing a marvellous job. In Devon, the County Council has received £1.6 million from the Active Travel Fund this financial year, and I believe is spending it very wisely. There are local authorities who have not maybe consulted on schemes quite so well as we would have liked in the past. We are trying to rectify that, and we are working from the centre with local authorities that are struggling to deliver schemes to ensure that they deliver them properly with the appropriate consultation and that taxpayers' money is spent wisely.
Say congratulations for clearing the list. That is unique.